everybody. Welcome live to the Jim Master Show, Love, Entertainment, Lifestyle, Celebrity Talk Show series. This is our second show of the day. And for those of you joining us right now, thanks for joining us. Thanks for all your love and support of our Entertainment, Lifestyle, Celebrity Talk Show series, beaming all across the globe from the New York area here. It's always a pleasure to have you guys with us. And we're very excited because we have some special guests joining us from California. I am talking about Anson and Sharon Scott Williams. Of course, you know Anson as an extraordinary, legendary actor and director and producer. And his lovely wife, Sharon, is joining us too. She is a writer, author, even a real estate broker as well. And they are here as we are celebrating, of course, the 50th anniversary of Happy Days. Could you imagine that? The 50th anniversary of Happy Days. But also there's this extraordinary one-woman show that the incomparable Carolyn Hennessy is actually performing in. And we're going to have her on the show soon as well. She actually was going to come on tonight, but General Hospital, of course, you know, she's Diane Miller on General Hospital, called her this afternoon and said, we need you back on set. We need you back on set. So she's on set at GH right now filming. So I think we're looking at possibly Monday to have her here to talk more about, of course, General Hospital is celebrating 60 years, which is amazing. And also she is starring in the one-woman show, Crazy Mama, which is exciting. And of course, you know, Anson, as I mentioned, from Happy Days, which is celebrating 50 years, which is unbelievable. And Anson was a guest on our show about 2 years ago, and it was an extraordinary, fun conversation. We talked about the Heimlich maneuver. We talked about the alert drops, and of course, his epic career. American actor and director, best known, of course, as Warren Potsie Weber on the television series Happy Days. And he was nominated for the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor as well for miniseries, television, film. He's also worked on Melrose Place, Beverly Hills 90210, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Lizzie McGuire, The Secret Life of the American Teenager, and so much more. Theater and stage and film and television. It's really exciting to have him back on the show. And his lovely bride, wonderful Sharon Scott Williams, again, is a prolific author, writer. She has a wonderful memoir, and this is really, she's also a real estate broker too, California. And the show that we're talking about, the one-woman show starring Carolyn Hennessy, is called Crazy Mama. And it's actually coming to New York, which is exciting. And there you see on the screen the dates and everything else. And we'll tell you how you can get it. Matter of fact, you can see at the bottom of the screen, it shows you about Crazy Mama, which is really, really something exciting. And this is really based on her memoir, which is something quite special. It's a really terrific show that's laced with humor. And Crazy Mama is the true story adapted from Sharon Scott Williams' award-winning memoir. And her new one-woman show stars Emmy Award winner Carolyn Hennessy, which you know from so many shows, including General Hospital. It chronicles the soul-crushing grip of her mother's mental illness, the steely resilience of the human heart, and how, by the grace of some invisible power, Sharon's dream to get her real mama back comes true. The story begins when she rushes home after school, a couple of days after the 8th birthday, to get the last slice of cake. Instead, she witnesses her mother having a knife-wielding psychotic break. The sheriff deputy says, your mom is not right in the head. He could have said, well, she's bat crazy, because she was, but Sharon loved her. Don't want to give it all away, but you see on the screen an opportunity to see it in the New York area. It's really going to be something absolutely spectacular. So a couple of things that we're celebrating here with our special guests. Crazy Mama, starring Carolyn Hennessy, directed by Anson Williams, and of course, the beloved Happy Days gang. Marion Ross has been a wonderful guest on our show. Her son, Jim Mescamim, has been here as well. Donnie Most has been on the show twice. And of course, you know, he's a brilliant singer as much as an actor and so much more. So thanks for joining us, everybody. We're really excited about the show. Thanks for your patience. We made sure everything was perfect for you guys, video and audio wise, since we're doing something quite special. And I want to take a quick moment to welcome our illustrious guests who are joining us again from California, Sharon Scott Williams and Anson Williams. Gang, welcome to the Jim Master Show Live. It's a pleasure to have you here. Tell us about Crazy Mama and how this whole idea came to be. I was mentioning in the introduction that it's really based on your memoir, Sharon, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
and which I never published. I published bits of it as short stories, and it started getting into literary journals and winning awards and all this. And so I thought, well, maybe I should really pursue this a little more. So Anson started reading it, and he goes in that day, takes a shower, he comes out, and he goes, "It's a one-woman show. This needs to be on stage." And he said, "You need to do an adaptation." And I said, "Well, I've never done a play, but okay, if you help me out, maybe I can do it." And he said he would, since he's written so many screenplays and everything. He knows that stuff. So yeah, so that's how it came about. It is the story of my life starting when I was 8 years old, and my mother had a psychotic break, her first psychotic break, and my life changed forever. Our whole family changed forever, and I really wanted to get it out there to help people, who are going through this sort of thing. It's really tough on the families.
Yeah.
But it's a story about love. It's a story about hope. It's funny. My dad was a very funny character, and that's how he dealt with the grief of the situation. And so it's funny. It's heartwarming, and
it's important. But just to get to go a little broad. I've been in the business a long time, directed a lot of things, read a lot of things. Sharon, I'll tell you now, probably one of the best playwrights in the country. And when I read what she put together, it was a work of art, an absolute work of art. And it is kind of sounds like a tragic story. I mean, a young girl losing her mom at 8 years old to a psychotic breakdown, but there's so much laughter and so much love and so much caring and just so many levels that it's captivating. And just to show you how captivating, we had 2 workshops now before going to New York. Audiences were doing standing ovations at intermission. Because what this show does, everybody has some kind of emotional problem or situation in their lives. Everyone takes this and they put it in their own in their own lives. The end of the show, you hear and standing ovations because it is. By the way, it ends up. I'm not going to get into the ending. It's a very surprising ending. It's all a true story, and it gives hope. But more than anything, it breaks down walls of miscommunication. It opens up walls to heal again. It connects you to the important priorities of life and family. It just hits you on so many undefinable levels. You walk out smiling and you walk out deeply emotional. And I think you walk out of the show a better person. It is an amazing hour and a half experience. Families should come together to this show. It is brilliant.
Bring mom.
And it's going to be premiering at the Bethel Woods Center in Woodstock, where the original Woodstock is. They've decided they want to start in the theater direction, kind of like La Jolla Playhouse, to develop shows and take them to Broadway. And they're starting small, but they've read, I don't know how many scripts they've read. They picked Sharon's. And here was the review, because we're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, thinking that they don't like it. Finally, we get this call, the voicemail. Incredible, 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 call us.
Wow.
And that was it. I can't tell you how important the show is. And we're going to be there April 12th through the 14th, and maybe longer, depending on ticket sales. I cannot applaud this show enough. You get out there, see this show. Not only is it incredibly entertaining, it's uplifting. It brings families together. I think people who maybe know other families with situations, they're gonna open their door and they're gonna help. It's people on so many levels. It's a brilliant piece of work, and it needs to be out there.
Let me say one more thing. not only Carolyn Hennessy, who
Yes.
is our fabulous actress and plays 12 different parts,
Right.
plus the narrator. And it's there. That's what's unusual about this show. The way I wrote it, she's having it's dialogue
You got to get in
between.
the picture. There you go. You got to get in more.
See, the director sees you off camera. He needs you centered.
To help.
He needs you centered.
So she is so amazing, and she has created these 12 different characters. Many of them are my family members, and they're very distinctly different. And when they're talking to each other, all through Carolyn, you know who's talking. You can recognize them. It's incredible. And we also have the other thing that kind of makes this show unusual is that we have this incredible guitarist, composer, actor. His name is Luke Wygodny from New York. Mm-hmm. And he is playing the song Crazy Mama. And I don't know if you remember it, but it's by J.J. Cale. Right. And he's done every time it sort of knits the show together in between scenes, opens and closes the show. And he does a variation on it. And I wrote some additional lyrics. And it's just so moving to have the music come in and kind of reflect the mood of the scene and carry you to the next scene. And we're so happy to have Luke.
That's right, because it's very important when you do a one-person show. I mean, there's not a lot of props and this and that and glamour. You're acting and you're storytelling, and you have to hold an audience for 90 minutes. But you want the story to move forward. And what's great about Luke and Sharon's idea of making the transitions through the song, and the song will come in, and the lyrics will move the story forward, and we're back on Carolyn. The story's moving forward. So you're never bored. It's never redundant. You're always going to a new place, always going to a new place. And this 90 minutes seems like 15. You are just captivated. It's funny, because when you go to your first staged reading, there's 80 people there, and you're sitting in this audience, and what anyone will tell you, that what I've learned through really very successful people in theater, the audience will tell you everything. Everything. Bring your notebook, and they will tell you everything. So I'm sitting there waiting for movement. I'm waiting for the or going to the bathroom, or coughing, or anything. I'm waiting. Nothing. Not a sound. Literally, no one moved. And I'm sitting going, I said, I think we got a hit. I think we got a hit. I think you hit the pulse here. I really do. And then all of a sudden it gets to intermission. And it's intermission. I mean, standing ovations. And then we did it we did it again, 150 people at the Hollywood Museum in Hollywood, right? With lots and lots of hard audience. A hard audience. Industry people said, boom. And these people came up, some very, very famous people came up and bawling, oh my God, and talking about their problems with their mom, or and how much it helped, and what it opened up for them, and how much they appreciated the show. Mm-hmm. I mean, very famous. And I went, wow, just broke down. Everybody was equally human, That's and I said, the big problem in this country right now is mental illness.
Yeah,
big problem, but there's got to be different ways of presenting it and connecting. They get all analytical about it. Well, there's a problem. 5.4 million people have this. This is like Rocky did for the underdog. I swear it's that kind of where all of a sudden you can be a winner with all these problems. You can be a winner, and it just brings back such humanity and such priority in your life and people's lives. I cannot rave about this enough. You got to get out there and watch and see the show. It really is. You will take the show with you the rest of your life.
So it's really connecting with people on a very deep, inspirational, healing level, I would imagine,
yes.
Huh? Which we need.
In ways that we had not predicted. For instance, one very famous person came up to me after the show and she said, our mother had Alzheimer's. And she said, I so relate to what you went through because the same thing happened to me. I'm looking at my mother who looks like the same mother I've had my whole life, but then suddenly she's not that person. She doesn't even know who I am. And that was very similar to what happened to me, you know, with my mother when she had her psychotic break, and then on and on and on, you know, throughout my life. And I hadn't thought about that. Yes, Alzheimer's is like that too. You lose your mother in a whole different way, but in very much the same way. And it's really interesting how people have found connections to the story.
You know, what's amazing is that you took the time to share it, because not a lot of people would share something so intimate and personal, but you do it in a way that helps people. It's cathartic and therapeutic for you, but also people, like you're saying, plug into it, they relate to it. When you decided to share the story, was there any hesitation to share it, or did you say this really needs to be told because it can help people?
Well, I met a woman named Ellie Sachs at a TED Talk she had done, and she wrote a book called The Center Cannot Hold, and it was about her own experience as a paranoid schizophrenic, suffering from breakdowns constantly. She managed to make it through Oxford, so she's really an amazing woman, and she's an associate professor at UCLA now. But she said, no, you need to tell this story. She said, it wasn't just back in the past when there was no support for the families. It's still like that. And we need to shine a light, as Anson says. We need to shine a light on this problem and get it all the way to Washington, D.C. and see what we can do to help families cope with this very difficult situation.
Well, Gary Marshall, it's funny, it goes back to Gary Marshall early on. And Ron Howard, Henry, and I, we live by this. We've done projects like this. We've been friends now 50 years. Anyway, Gary said right at the beginning, Happy Days is doing well. He sits us down because Gary was like a professor and like a subfather. He cared about us. He wasn't just hire some kids, do a show, and goodbye. He sat us down and he says, you guys are gonna be famous. You're famous. And you don't deserve it. And you're gonna get this light on you.
Yeah.
And you don't deserve it. You're on TV. They're gonna put a light. You gotta earn that. You gotta earn that. But he goes, so what you do is you take the light and you put it on someone who does deserve it. And you take your platform and you help them. And I mean, we're there over a decade with this man. Yeah. You get quite an education.
You do, right? Yeah.
You get this incredible group of friends that we have been together. We're a text away. We're 50 years friends, all of us. What do you need? Like this? Deep friendships. But we all, and you'll see in all our work after the show, we try to shine the light on important issues with people that are getting things done, and I've done it. But and in theater, this is how I feel with this play. I just feel like we're shining a light on something that's so important. I can't stress how important, and yet commercial. I say the word, something that people are going to embrace, love, take home, and I think it's that kind of show they'll actually take action because it hits the heart. It hits the heart. And I have not seen a play like in this category that comes close to the emotion, and the priorities it gives the audience. That's really so important.
How did you guys already have Carolyn Hennessy in your mind as the lead? How did it come about? And she was going to be with us tonight. I told the audience she got called away by General Hospital. She's got to do some filming. We're hoping to have her on Monday to celebrate it all as well. And I know GH is celebrating their 60th. But how did it come about where you got Carolyn on board? Great choice, too.
Yeah.
Well, I've known Carolyn for a while. And just a big fan. And when the play was finished, and by the way, and Sharon had met her in the meantime and loved her, and we just saw Carolyn all over this piece. I don't know if she'll do it. She has to put skin in the game.
It's a big commitment.
It's a big commitment.
Yeah.
I mean, and we sent it to her, and she goes, "When do we start?" So she just has been a major asset, and she is brilliant in this. She plays 12. I mean 12 characters with different voices that aren't like. So she'll sit there and she'll do the show, and she'll be talking to 4 people at the same time, playing all 4 people, and it's almost like you're watching a movie. It's like the stage is full of characters,
Right?
and it's one person, but she also has the same emotion for the show we do. In fact, the ending, I won't get into the ending. It's a surprise.
Right.
It's an emotional killer. You know the end of Ghost. You know when love doesn't go away. You know that
Right.
better than that. better than that. It's the last. Better than that. It's like, oh, that's what it is. She can't get through it. She can't get through it. She can't get through the show. She has to have Kleenex.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, and I go, play it, man. You're feeling what we're feeling, man.
Non-honest emotion.
Yeah, and she just powerhouse, just a powerhouse.
How long did it take to transfer the idea from this memoir to an actual show? What was that process like?
Well, it took 12 weeks to write the script and get it perfect, as perfect as we could. And then it took a few months because we were talking to Carolyn, selling her on the idea,
Her schedule,
yeah. Our schedule, trying to see where best to launch it, as a workshop and all that. Took some months to do.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long.
Well, here's the
probably
thing.
About 6 months.
But here's the thing. When I had the idea that it's a stage show, and we sat there, for a play, it was incredibly fast to write this, and that has to do incredibly fast. But the whole thing was structuring. But there's so much in the memoir, in dialogue, that and Sharon did a phenomenal job at going from 70 how many thousand words?
70-something thousand words to 14,000
words.
And still have a story at the end of it.
Yeah. Where do you focus it?
Yeah.
She just, and it's so funny because we had arguments. We're sitting there going, and I'm going, that's redundant, get that, we don't need that scene. I love it. I don't care if you love it, doesn't work. I see it. Let's move it forward. And sometimes I'm right, sometimes she's right. We go, and I go, all right. So then I go, here's these final notes. I don't know, 4 hours later, she goes, here. I go, what do you mean? It can't be good. 4 hours, it can't be. She goes, this is it. I've had it. It can't be good. Come on, don't be lazy. Jesus, you can take some time. I'm telling you, it's right. I sit down. Oh, God. I go through. It's perfect. Let's lock it. No notes. I mean, literally, it was perfect. I'm bawling. I'm crying. And as a director, you're looking at the whole story, and I'm not bored, and I'm involved, and I'm moving forward, and I know these people, and I feel these people, and I'm laughing, and I'm crying, and I get to the end. I went, it's brilliant. I said,
yeah.
Oh, sorry. It's brilliant. See, a wife takes my hand down. Anyway, it's truly brilliant. But from there, it took time to, with Carolyn's schedule and everything it takes to put a show together. So that took time, and there were a few changes here and there, but not much.
And we got married in the meantime.
And we got married in the meantime.
That took a minute.
That took a whole day, and then
that did, yes.
To plan a wedding, that was kind of tough. It was fun, though.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jim, you are too prepared, man. I'm telling you, it's like a family album here.
It's like a family album. How did you guys meet? How did that come about?
Well, Now we're getting into another area of life.
Yeah.
14 years ago, Sharon sold me the house we're in now.
Real
That's what
estate
we met.
broker.
That's how we
Yes.
But years ago, she's married, kids and all that. So I went through divorce and all that, and moved up to the house here and all that. And her husband, great guy, had passed away, and this and that. And I literally was up here as a hermit. I was so destroyed and just not a happy camper. And literally didn't do anything, didn't go anywhere. But she always was in my mind, always in the back of my head. And I texted her for lunch one day, which she thought was weird that I didn't call. Because I went,
after however many years.
maybe she don't know me anymore. Anyway, we go to lunch the next day, and again, really the first time I was out anywhere in 6 months, and we've been together ever since. That was we had a 3-hour lunch. But here's the thing: we had a 3-hour lunch, and she was already sitting there at the restaurant, and I get in, and hi. So I sit down, and we just connected. It was a very emotional 3-hour lunch. And I said, oh my God, we better go. And she goes, great, can you hand me my crutches? I go, what? She goes, yeah, I fell down. I just got out of my wheelchair yesterday. Can you hand me my crutches?
Fell down a flight of
She
steps.
fell down a flight of steps. So I'm going, so here I am here, helping her out of the restaurant. Yeah. So our first date is like learning to walk again. That's how we started. And her whole thing was she was going to a writing retreat in Italy. And she's going, I'll never make it, because of all the steps and cobblestones. And when you have that kind of tragic injury,
Yeah.
I said, you're going to make it. Bullshit. Almost baloney. You're going to make it. And that was the whole challenge.
He's my coach.
And that was the whole challenge. And she made it, and just, had a wonderful time, wonderful writing retreat with wonderful people. But it just became we became very, very closer and closer and closer, just through the challenges of life and really learning about each other, deeply learning about each other. It was not surface. It was a real deep connection. And I just feel so fortunate this time in my life to have this relationship. It's just, and then look what we're doing. I didn't even know at the time, honestly, how good a writer. And so yeah.
He's read a lot of bad scripts.
And you're on the Jim Masters Show live worldwide. I mean, does it get any better than this, gang?
It does not. We hit it. It's good.
You hit the big time.
She just put my hand down again. It's like, jeez. It's like,
so Sharon, it was a beautiful story that he shared. How about you? What was it like when, you met Anson and going from there, huh?
It was when he texted me that day, I was like, well, I don't know. Let me call my daughter and see if she's okay with this. So I called my daughter, and she said, yeah, Mom, you go for it. Dad wanted you to be happy. And she sort of gave me permission to, go on with my life, which is tough after you've lost your husband of 34 years, And so I went to the lunch thinking that maybe he did want to sell his house. I mean, that made sense because of the text. I mean, if it was some romantic thing, maybe I would have thought something different. So, but I was worried that I was hobbling around on crutches. It's my first day on crutches after being, I was in recovery for almost 6 months with this injury. It was a really bad surgery and all that. But I thought my life was over. I thought my life was done. I was, this was me. I was going to be by myself. And well, he changed all that. And it was just so incredible. And things can continue to happen for us like this, like the play, that just keep validating that we should be together. And that's a great feeling.
Isn't that incredible? It really is. Now, had you been a fan of Happy Days and other things that Anson has been a part of over the years?
I was a fan. I would think I didn't watch it every week, but I was
You
a
didn't?
fan. I was certainly aware.
Yeah,
certainly
man.
aware of Potsie.
Wait a minute. So if there ever was a rating drop one week, that was your fault?
That was me. Yeah.
I tell you.
But I'll tell you, the interesting thing to me, the heartwarming thing to me, has been the relationship that these guys have. You know, the four guys. It's just such a precious thing to have a 50-year relationship. And I would guess that in the entertainment business, that's not very normal. You know, there's so much jealousy and competition and everything. But these guys, when the chips are down, they are there for each other. And I've seen it happen.
Like brothers.
Yeah, they truly are. They call each other bro, and they really mean it. And
there's
and
everybody together there.
Marian's fantastic too.
Isn't she? Yes. And Donnie with his singing career too and all. And
Yeah.
Henry with his book.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
I mean, Henry, his whole, resurgence of his acting career too, has been incredible. So yeah, they're just a really, I'm sure that the boss is smiling down on him right now, thinking,
Yes.
yeah, this is the way I raised you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
In addition to all of this, it's like I mentioned, it's very hard to believe that Happy Days, it's the 50th anniversary. I mean, could you imagine? And it's still a beloved series. People still love it, seeing it in the reruns, and they still cheer it on. And it was, what do you think it is about Happy Days that just really resonated with so many people and still does today?
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because when it went on the air in the 70s, but it's a 50 show. So it went on as an old show, basically showing a romantic time in America in the 50s. So it's always been old and always been new. So anyone who's seeing it today, give you the same feeling as see it in the 70s.
Right.
So it's always new. And gosh, the reason there's an it factor to the show. Aside from Gary Marshall, just the lovely storylines and the priorities of family and friends and all that in the show. He also put together a family that were givers. They were givers, and he put together a group of friends who were givers. You knew whether it's Fonzie or Ralph, whatever, no matter whatever's going on, if someone was in trouble, they were there for you.
Yeah.
It was selfless friendship and a selfless family, and all the feelings everybody is desperate to have might not be getting it in their home. So anyway, so there was just an it factor there, but the big it factor was this above the page chemistry of the actors. There was just something there that transcended past the television into people's homes that just hit people's hearts. And Gary also was a big part of that, aside from casting us. He was very concerned about teamwork on the set and no egos. And he was also a good athlete and really a sports nut. And he loved softball. And most of us, except Henry, who learned to play, were ex-athletes. I mean, Ron's a phenomenal athlete. Don Most could almost been pro. I was in the Little League All-Star games when I was young and all that. But and he said he wants to put together a softball team. We go, great. But the reason he wanted to put together a softball team was you always have the back of your playmate. You always have the back of your team. And he felt that would come back to the set. There are ever problems, all these crazy problems in entertainment, which are major problems all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's gonna go south because you're a team and you care about each other. And we're going to a game next Saturday, so you got to back your friend up. And we did. So when people ask me, "Oh God, what are the most amazing things you remember about Happy Days?" It's not one script. It's not one moment on the set. It's being around the world with my buddies in a softball team. It's playing the USO over the China Sea. It's playing the 3rd Infantry Division in Germany. It's playing in every major stadium in the United States at charity pregame with all with the real teams around us, going in their locker rooms. The experiences we had together were unbelievable, and we won 95% of the time. We were good. So we had that team. I can't even tell you how that translated to the set. To this day, I mean, that softball team was everything. I think it's one of the main reasons we're friends 50 years later. Because we talk about, remember in Okinawa when we beat the Marines, and then they got so upset they wanted another game and brought in ringers from Tokyo, and we beat them worse.
Yeah.
I go, remember that one? So that was just, and I know as a director, I was fortunate enough to direct mostly a lot of television. I would do shows like Secret Life, The American Teenager, and all these other shows, Young People, 90210, and try to inspire the young cast, like Gary did for us, to be team players, and also to wear a few hats. Take the time to look around you, learn more for your craft. Gary was very instrumental in us learning many areas of entertainment, because he knew acting might not last, usually doesn't. But he gave us the opportunity to use Paramount Studios as a college. And, I was able to watch Roman Polanski and ask questions doing Chinatown, all these other major directors. It was a constant education if you wanted to use it. And Gary inspired that and opened up the door for that. So because of him, I mean, we're all still working it. We're not out for the count. We're not down for the count. We're still creating, and we're still producing, and we're still entertaining. And all that's because of Gary.
It's like a second family, isn't it? You've been through so many things in your own individual lives too, and to have that closeness still is extraordinary.
We've been through marriages, divorces, deaths. We've been through a lot. We all know what it is for major success and popularity. I mean, these kids today have no idea of popularity when you're getting 60 million people a week watching your show, and you're doing concerts and all that. We rode that tidal wave, and then we took it with Gary's help and tried to do very positive things with it, and he helped prioritize our life. So he basically said, "You're in it," meaning you're in it. Don't be of it. Don't be of it, meaning don't hide behind fame. Don't hide behind this. You're in it. Go home and wash the dishes. Mow your lawn. Be a person. Stay normal.
Right. Great advice.
Nobody. It's an unnatural thing to have that much popularity. It's unnatural.
Yeah.
And that's why you see a lot of greatness out of it and a lot of tragedy out of it.
Right.
It's a very hard place to maneuver if you don't have good mentors.
Exactly. You've seen it happen to so many people over the years. The limelight comes at an early age too, and then the light is no longer on, or they're typecast, or just whatever happens, and then they don't know what to do with themselves, and they go down a sad path. Yeah.
Yes.
And so having that guidance from somebody like that, and having that familial understanding, working with Marion Ross, Tom Bosley, Gary Marshall, and these other epic people, was a great grounding for all of you at an early age.
And two other people I have to just praise. Ron Howard was a star at the time. He had done Andy Griffith, American Graffiti, blah, blah. And Ron is the most humble, just down-to-earth guy in the world, and a professional, and a good guy. And Henry, when he became the number one star in the world. I don't people understand. I mean, he was as big as the Beatles at their height. Mm-hmm. He was number one in the world. And it's funny, on the set, we had these really lousy little dress rooms. They were like panels of wood that they drag in with a shag carpet a couch, and you got a phone. But that was it. And you looked out for bugs in it. Like, that's how old it was. And they offered Henry half the studio, and he said, "Don't change anything." He said, "Just keep everything the same, because it's going to ruin the chemistry. It's going to ruin the chemistry." And so on the set, nothing changed. No matter how famous someone got or whatever, no one changed. And that was a big deal. Tom Bosley helped me negotiate my first mortgage.
Did he
I had
really?
no idea what I was doing. He goes, "Come here, kid. I'm going to help you. You're doing it wrong." So Tom, and everyone, we got pretty famous, and they're thinking, "Oh my God, what do you guys do? Some fantasy idea." I go, "Well, we play softball on the weekends," and Gary put a hoop up off the set, stage 19, and we had to work out things. We shot hoops, and we talked, and we shot hoops, and we talked. That was it. That was good. Come on, come on, let's talk. Come on outside. Let's shoot some hoops.
Yeah.
It was about as tactile as it could get.
That's incredible. And you even had an opportunity to have some special people on set, John Lennon and Julian.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, that story, there's a callback decades later. It was the first year of Happy Days, and it was when we were making it like a movie. We didn't have a live audience show yet. That came in 2 seasons in. But so anyway, it's a cold morning. Not a lot of us are working. Don's working. Ron's working. Henry's working. And Jerry Paris is there smiling, and a guest star, lucky guest star. So it's early in the morning. It's cold. It's boring. I go to get some coffee out of this tin, big old tin, and there's this guy there with sunglasses, a little kid, just standing there. I go back to Don Most. I say, "Don, there's a guy that looks like John Lennon with some kid by the coffee thing." He goes, "Oh yeah, John Lennon came to spend the day with us." It was John Lennon, and he was on a little Paramount tour, and his son,
Julian
Lennon. Sorry,
yeah.
Julian Lennon. It was his favorite show, and they come on. No one knew he came on. No one knew they came on the set. He's there. He's staying. I'm freaking out. He's like, pretty soon I was like, "Hey, John, nicest guy, down to earth guy. Julian's having this great time." The crew are asking for little. Can I have a doodle? So they're getting original art from John Lennon, right? Not us. We're pros. Not us. We're pros. "Oh, did we get an autograph on the script we're doing that week?" No, we're pros. The crew is rich. They have houses based on that morning. But so anyway, he comes. It was thrilling. So decades later, maybe 5 years ago. Was it before I met? Yeah. 6. Anyway, I'm at Sirius Radio in New York, and I'm promoting something. And if you've been to Sirius Radio, you go in there, they take your picture, you sit down, and then all the shows are in a circle. You keep going to different studios, right? So you go in a studio, blah, 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 you come out and you sit down, and there's this nice looking man there, nice kind of suit together, and they're raving about his photography. And I'm thinking, "Oh, must be a famous photographer. Must be, someone pretty special." And I go, "Okay," so I go back, I'm waiting. He goes, "Excuse me." Yes. "Do you mind if we take a selfie?" I go, "Oh, sure, no problem." He goes, "Oh, good, thank you. We've met before." I go, "What?" "I was with my father. It's one of the best days of my life." And he says, "In fact, I have a picture on my desk of that same picture." It was Julian Lennon, 40-some years later.
That's amazing, huh?
And you saw that, yeah, and he has the picture you put up on his desk.
That's incredible.
So that day was a day for him. He remembered that was special for him, and that he, as famous as he was, and whatever, he took that with him. And I wish I had It's in. I have the picture. I have the selfie. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's amazing, huh?
yeah, yeah.
That is really something special. Well, you've had a lot of different people that came through on set that
Oh yeah.
was quite amazing, right? Guest stars and a lot of. Do you have an episode or two that's your personal favorite?
My favorite stars Donnie when he remember crashed Fonzie's bike, and Fonzie was going to kill the person that hurt his bike. Donnie was like beyond brilliant. To this day, it's just hysterical. That's my number one. My number two was the show that Joey and I starred in, Aaron Moran, called Potsie. No, Potsie Love, I think it was called, but then it was called Dren, where I got to sing "Put Your Head on My Shoulder."
Oh yes.
And it was a very, very popular episode. But I liked it because the theme was really, really sensitive, and I was moved by acting in it. I thought it was a special episode.
Did they want to propel you into a singing career as a result?
Oh no, that was way into it. What happened was
already,
the true story is now we're getting entrepreneurial, meaning back then you were not paid like actors today. I'll be very straight. Back then, I mean, it's not bad money. First year of Happy Days, $900 an episode. Second year, $1,200 an episode. Third year, $1,800 an episode. Well, toward the end of the first year, I'm going, okay, how can I do better? You know, and I've always been one to see what you have, not what you don't have. There's always opportunity in front of you. It's very easy to see stuff that's not working, but there's always something that you can actually grab and create more success through what you have instead of complaining. So David Cassidy, I think Partridge Family ended the year before. I happened to talk with him, and he was huge. But he said how much better he was doing by being able to sing on the show, off the show. Then I was talking to Barry Williams, the first year of Happy Days. Brady Bunch is still going. It's last year, but they put together down the Brady Bunch tour, singers. And he said, "Oh my God, you can't believe how much better we're doing just singing we're doing so much better just singing live around the country." Then I'm thinking of Ricky Nelson, you know, and I sang. I mean, I came out of musical theater so I thought, if I can convince Gary Marshall to let me sing on the show, maybe I can get booked and make some money. And that was it. So I found him one morning early, and I said, "Gary," he goes, "I'm busy. I can't talk right now." I said, "It'll only take a minute." So he goes, "Okay, walk with me." So I'm walking with him, and I do an elevator pitch. You got girls on the show. You got cars on the show. We need music. How about a band in Arnold's? I sing. I'll have a band in Arnold's. We can open up the show. And he goes, "Hey, stop. It's a band. And he used to be drummer, and he liked music. And he started just in his head, wait. And he started thinking, Richie could do this, Ralphie could do this. And he goes, "Are you good? Are you good?" I go, I think I'm okay. He goes, "All right, you good?" I go, "Okay, yeah, I think I'm good." He goes, "All right." He goes, "Good idea. Go talk to Bobby, pick a song. There's a show coming up, fraternity show. I think I can fit it in." I go, I changed my life, man. I'm singing on national television. This is it, man. And then he yells at me, "But you're singing to a bulldog." He goes, "Oh, yeah, Elvis sang to a bulldog. It's Sullivan. It's funny." He goes, "I believe you're good. If you're not, I'll still get laughs. You're singing to a bulldog." There was first time singing live, singing to a bulldog. "Well, bless my soul. What's wrong with you?" Bless it. Anyway, he liked it, and he goes, "But I don't. You pick the songs you like, and like every third show, we'll do a song. I like it. I go, "Great." So I did, and it caught on with the artist. And guess what? I got signed by David Cassidy's Chelsea Records, and I was getting $900 or $1,200 a week. And I'm not bragging, but 17,000 a night doing concerts. And Gary Marshall came up and he goes, I'm proud of you. You don't bitch. You don't bitch. You found opportunity and you're helping the show. I'm proud of you. And that's why, and it was a big life lesson for anybody in any business, how there is opportunity in front of you. You know, don't wait for it. Don't have something. No, you find it. And if you can grab something and make it better for everybody.
Yes, right,
you know?
exactly.
And there's so much opportunity in front of you, right? So much opportunity in front of you. It's just, you just have to look.
Absolutely. And there's things that, can inspire people and make people feel better about themselves, and sometimes even save their life. Enter Dr. Heimlich. Now, people might not, nice segue, right? People might not realize the connection that you have to this extraordinary individual. Tell us about this, Anson.
Well, he was my second cousin, but I've called him Uncle ever since I was born. And he was, a fabulous doctor. He was head of the Jewish Cincinnati Hospital, and he was an inventor too. He invented some real life-saving devices for Vietnam and all this. Anyway, he and Jane, his wife, had a friend who choked to death. And he thought, this back thing doesn't work. There's a better way to do this. So he worked it, and created the Heimlich maneuver. At this time, he was in a war with the Red Cross. A political war. I won't get into the details, but they did not like Dr. Heimlich. And he started trying to promote the Heimlich maneuver. And he got a little here, a little there, but no traction. Because they would say, no, you got to slap on the back. Slap, it's political. And he was on the set one morning on Happy Days, and I didn't have a long day. Coincidentally, a phone call came to the set. It was from the Merv Griffin show. And I had done the show a couple of times, sing a song, get interviewed, and it went well. And someone had dropped out that night. So they asked me if I could fill in for the night, in place of this other performer. And I'm thinking, yeah. And I said, yeah, book me, great. So I tell Dr. Heimlich, listen, we're going to go down there. I'll talk to him. We'll get the Heimlich maneuver on national television. We'll get it on national television. He's going, really? I go, I'm telling him, yes, naive as I am. So, get done with the show, go back, wash up, get my charts. We run down the Merv Griffin show. I asked to see Merv, who I don't know at all, except the 10 minutes I was on the show before. And he's busy. I rehearsed the song, no Merv. Then I get interviewed by the producer to see what we're going to talk about that night. I try to push the Heimlich maneuver. He says, absolutely not. It's not vetted. We don't know anything. Merv doesn't know anything about it. Just tell me some few Happy Day stories. I go, all right, that's it. We're done with that. So they put Dr. Heimlich in the audience, and the show starts. And I wasn't first out. I might have been second out. I don't remember. But start off, sing your song. There's a commercial break. So you go and sit down next to Merv. And Merv says, hey, Anson, how are you? And I did an elevator pitch on the Heimlich maneuver. And he goes, wait a minute. I read something about it. I was interested. Somehow he heard about it.
Right.
He goes, he's here? I go, yeah, he's right in the audience. Oh, lights come up. Now, the director of Merv Griffin's show happens to be Dick Carson, Johnny Carson's brother. So he doesn't know what's going on. Merv, lights go up. I'm expecting, what's happened on Happy Days today? He goes, is there a Dr. Heimlich in the audience? And he goes, yes, Anson just told me something interesting. Tell me about this Heimlich maneuver. This is talks about it. He goes, can you try it on me? Goes up on stage, does it on Merv. Now, it's a day delay for that show. So the next night it went on, forget about it. Boom. It's starting to go a little crazy. Now we're getting some action. Dick Carson calls his brother Johnny Carson and says, this guy was just on the show. This saves lives. You need to get this Dr. Heimlich on the Carson show. 3 weeks later, it was on Johnny Carson's show. Did it on Johnny Carson and forget about it. It flew out. And that started the national attention Heimlich maneuver. And what I say is it's happy days, because if Gary Marshall hadn't invented that show, and we didn't have this great cast, and we didn't have all this great, I wouldn't have ever had the opportunity to say anything. So happy days literally today has saved and will continue to save generations of lives.
That's extraordinary. That's an amazing story, and something else that you developed, which is the alert drops too, right? Which is revolutionary.
Well, it's revolutionary. We're having a little hard time in retail, but yes, it is. Dr. Heimlich and I developed a product called Alert Drops, which really stopped drowsy driving. And I won't get all the technicality, but basically, it's citric acid, it's lemon, and there's when you go to the doctor and they test your reflexes. The same thing with tongue and brain. There are certain reflexes. You put a certain taste on your tongue, and there's a reflex action of waking up, adrenaline, all natural. And what happens? It wakes you up, and you're alert, and you're alive, and you won't kill yourself. Everyone thinks drinking coffee is going to work and all that. No, it does. It takes 20 minutes to take effect. You need too much of it, and you get all jittery. It doesn't do anything to keep you awake. This literally, because of his brilliance, boom, keeps you awake. At least and they say, how long does it last? It depends on your own body, but I said an average of 20 minutes, 15 minutes. And if you need it, and get off the road and protect yourself. If you need another hit, it's fine. It's basically, it's a high-powered lemon. That's what it is. In fact, it all started when I was directing a show out in the desert, and it was exhausting, and I was just exhausted, and I had to drive back home, and I blacked out, literally backed out. And thank God, woke up, no one got hurt. But I told Dr. Heimlich, I said, Anson, bite into to bring cut lemons with you. And he said, and he explained how the citric acid hits the lingual nerve, blah, 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 blah. So I did. So for years, I'd bite into a lemon, and it does the job. Then I asked him, hey, listen, what if we had a spray? So you just spray it right on your tongue. He said, that's fantastic. He said, it's a direct hit, more powerful, more effective. And that's how Alert Drops came to be. Basically, it's a high-powered lemon. So what I tell people, if you don't want to buy Alert Drops and you're on a long road trip, have cut up lemons. You start feeling that fatigue, you bite into that sucker. It'll save your life. It'll save your life.
The Alert Drops, are they still available?
They're not right now. That's the problem. Yeah. The retail business is a whole other. The retail business is a whole other animal with shelf space.
It really is, right?
Yeah. It's funny. 5 Hour Energy all over the place, which is really a questionable product. Should be on the market in terms of the heart attacks. But I never said that. Yes, I did say that. I did say that. I did say that. 5 Hour Energy sucks. Anyway, and it hurts you, doesn't help you, but they got the shelf space. We don't.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing the creations that you guys do. Like, of course, Jerry Mathers with the dog food with his wife, and just, extraordinary things that you come up with. Very entrepreneurial, always, that's something that's inbred in you, isn't Anson? You're curious, you like to figure things out, build things, and everything you've talked about so far on the show are things that help people, whether it's entertaining them, helping them heal, crazy mama, inspire. There's a theme here to what your life represents in.
Yeah. Well, that was, I've always felt, I've always had that urge to help people. But again, Gary Marshall was very inspirational in really inspiring us to come out of it and to use it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's absolutely amazing. Thanks for sharing those incredible stories. I thought, and the viewers have been commenting, I thought that that would be something extra special. What are some of the things that have been happening surrounding the 50th anniversary of Happy Days?
I think we're going to be doing. I don't know if Ron will be there because he's finishing this film in Australia. But Henry, Donnie, and we're going to be doing a few appearances around. We did a wonderful article in the New York Times recently. So
Yes.
we've been doing quite a few interviews like that. And yeah, and I don't know if we're going to have a big major event yet or not. I've heard rumors, but I hope we do. I hope we do. You know.
Have they talked about like a television special like they did with Carol Burnett, Dick Van Dyke? Have they thought about doing that, a retrospective with you and Marion and everybody?
Everybody? Yeah. Well, they did a big one for Gary Marshall a few years ago. Actually, I think a 2-hour documentary on ABC with a lot of things. I haven't heard yet. I haven't heard yet if we're going to do a retrospective or not. Haven't heard.
Stay tuned, right? You never know.
Yeah.
I tell you, this is really amazing. And Crazy Mama, again, is something quite special. Yeah, we have it on the screen there. There it is. It's coming up in April. You can see on the bottom there, directed by Anson and written by Sharon Scott Williams. It's the memoir and now in show form with the incomparable Carolyn Hennessy. And here's a shot of you doing some direction right there. How do you like directing? People, know you so much as an actor and everything else, but as a director, is that something that really speaks to your heart too, Anson?
Well, yeah. Well, I was directing for about 35 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did about 300 shows.
Yeah.
And loved it. I really did. I loved it. But then and I also, was lucky in terms of writing certain things. And then it's pretty exhausting. And that's when I thought, I'm more behind the camera now. Some things in development, and then what's so wonderful, it's kind of a new career again in theater. I started in theater, believe it or not. Before directing film, Gary even inspired. He loved theater, and Gary even inspired us. You direct plays first before you get with that. You'll find out if you can talk to actors. You'll find, it's so I started actually before doing my first film, theater. So it was it's kind of here we are again, and I find that very exciting. Because it's a treat. It's just a treat, especially with her writing. It makes me look really, really good. People come up to me, oh my God, what direction? I'm going, yeah. What direction? I don't know. I said,
not true.
No, here's my direction. No, here's my direction to Carolyn. That works.
That works. Well, you started early too after Happy Days.
What's that?
You started early too after Happy Days. You were directing some of the after-school specials.
What happened? Well, again, in 1980, the big, my first big opportunity, I came to Ron with an idea called Skyward, that I wrote the story, and then rewrote the screenplay. And I won't get all the details, but it was the first time a paraplegic actor starred in a movie of the week, Susie Gilstrap, and we got Betty Davis to star with her. And it became a big deal at NBC, and it became a very successful movie of the week. And then I went into producing other shows, and I felt, as a producer, I felt cold. I wanted to be closer to the set and closer to the action. And Ron even said, you should think about directing. And I'd observed so many directors for years. So I had a show in development called No Greater Gift, which was an after-school special about organ donorship. And Ron said, 85. And Ron said, because I went to the network, even my own show, I'm exec producer. And one of the creators of the show, I'm like, and the network goes, well, And Ron says, just tell him I'll back you. What do you mean? I'll take over if you can't make it. And I go, you're a big shot director. No, just tell him. So I got to hire myself. And, so that was so I directed No Greater Gift and won the Humanitas as a writer. And it did a huge deal for organ donorship.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one, I co-wrote the script, exec produced, was Lone Star Kid, about the youngest man in the history of the United States, 12 years old. It was a real microcosm for Washington. A film that when Poland was becoming a democracy, the Constitutional Committee asked to see that film as one of their tools. They thought it was a wonderful example of democracy. So that was the second thing I was able to direct, and we did very well with the wars. And then I got hired to do what was it called? I forgot what it's called. With David Toma. Oh my gosh. Anyway, from there, it's been a while. But from there, I started. I was fortunate to start getting hired, and it became a wonderful full-time career. And then I was able to do a film, All American Murder, with Christopher Walken, and I was able to do a lot of nice comedies, 2-hour comedies on NBC. And then I was fortunate enough to get everything from Profile to LA Law to Star Trek to Hercules to Xena to Sabrina, God knows, Clueless. I mean, I was just very fortunate to be able to be part of that. Brad Pitt's first and only series called Glory Days.
That's right.
And so it was
incredible. Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Voyager, The Legendary Journeys, The Secret Life of the American Teenager, Beverly Hills 90210, Melrose Place, Sequest 2032, Seventh Heaven, several episodes of that series too. Yeah.
So I was very fortunate to be able to transfer over, and and that was just amazing time. Really hard.
Yeah.
People think directing is glamorous. It is not. It's tough.
No. Yeah.
It is tough, especially if you're hired and you're under a lot of pressure. They want Gone with the Wind and for cheap in 7 days.
And now they want it for only 6 seconds on TikTok.
A lot easier.
Just do it.
And I actually think it might be more profitable too.
You save a lot of money for sure, huh?
Let me advertise on your TikTok.
If somebody approached you and said, we'd like you to star or be a part of another series on television, is that something that you would consider? And
what would be fun is just finding a part on a sitcom. If there was a sitcom that I could be part of that makes sense, I'd love to do that. That would be fun. It would be fun just to get on the boards again a little bit.
That would be fantastic. Would you like to see him in another one, Sharon?
Oh yeah, I'm the one that I've been pushing this.
Telling him to.
Yeah, I think it would be great.
You know what you pushed me to do like 2 weeks ago? This will scare the heck out of you. Years ago, I used to do the Star Spangled Banner a lot because you got 8 free seats at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
So Tony Tennille and I held the record for a while.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but back then it was so scary because you had to go out from the middle center field gate. Right there. So you're there in center field, looking at the entire stadium. No words, nothing on any boards.
No
jumbotron. Straight out, man. And there's a 3-second delay or 2-second delay. You go, oh, say, can't. And all of a sudden you're, oh, say, can't. And you got to stay ahead of it, right? So anyway, and then when we did all the Happy Days trips around the world and all the stadiums, I was fortunate to sing the Star Spangled Banner. But now it's been decades. I'm an older guy. I've not sung since Egyptian times. And it's like, I'm an older guy. And she goes, oh, I really wish you do the Star Spangled Banner. I'm going, no. I said, they don't know me. I don't get a call from a friend. It's the 50th anniversary of Happy Days. What do you think of singing the Star Spangled Banner at the Lakers game? I go, excuse me? What? Saucy goes, oh, yeah. So all of a sudden, I foolishly said yes. You know, now I'm sitting there. What do you get the, you know? Yeah. So there we were. There
you are.
At the, oh,
Yeah,
yes. I got sick that week.
Did you?
On a Sunday before the Friday, when I mean, not COVID, but just really, I mean, like,
yeah.
So it was like, so you had that challenge.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, but getting there, but it was like 19,000 people, 20,000 people, or something like that. And you just, oh my goodness, you know? And again, no Jumbotron. No words up.
Get out there and do it.
All you saw was the flag, you know? And LeBron James looking at you. So it's
he
like.
was digging it, though.
Yeah.
LeBron was digging it.
Yeah, he was digging it. But we were there anyway.
Really cool experience, huh?
It ended up being a joyous night. You know,
there was somebody we did a tribute to her, and I had an opportunity to meet her on several occasions through a dear friend who's Dan Goggin, who created Nonsense on Broadway, and he's a friend of mine. And you were on the show maybe about a year and a half or so again, and you're welcome. You guys are welcome back anytime you want. It's all figured out. You just press enter, you're in. That's all good. But I wanted to ask you about, and she was a sweetheart of a person, Cindy Williams.
Oh.
Yeah.
That one hurt.
That one hurt. Out of left field in a way, right?
That one, yes. Yeah. It's still hard to digest what went on there. I mean,
right.
The kindest, talented, kindest.
Yep.
She's the type of person I've been there where, oh, I'm thirsty. She'll find the water for you. You know,
right.
She's just an amazing, kind, talented, caring, smart individual, and she also left a lot of joy for people in her work. A lot of joy. I mean, what a between Laverne and Shirley and American Graffiti and The Conversation and God knows what else. What a legacy. And yeah, that it hurt because it was also so sudden.
Right. Right. I was totally surprised. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, she was at an event with Henry, I think, 2 weeks before, maybe, and she said, oh, I think I have a cold coming on. She felt a little under the weather then, and then bam, you know, it just was such a sudden, you know, just a sudden passing, and but what a wonderful, wonderful person. I mean, no ego, hardworking, good mom, you know, true friend. Again, the suddenness it's like when a door just slamming on a friend.
Yeah.
And, right. Yeah. So it's just all I think is if our creator took her that quickly, there's got to be a better place.
She was.
You wouldn't do that to good people.
Right. You know? Right. Right. I know. You know, you were talking about Julian Lennon. Boom.
There you go. Oh, that's the selfie.
That's the one, huh?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know who's more happy, you or him. You both look equally happy to see each other. Huh?
He's just cooler, you know. He has this cool photo look. Yeah.
That is something to go from that to I mean, that's just he was enamored, I'm sure, being on that set.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing. So you guys, I know it's refreshing for viewers and everybody and fans of your work and fans of the series and everything else that to know that you guys still stay close. You still, you know, root for each other, and it's like a family. And the clock moves forward, but the love for one another and for what was accomplished and what's still there is quite evident and very, very special and rare in this crazy industry.
Very rare, very rare.
Yeah.
And what I
Yeah.
love about my brothers, they all contribute. They're all contributing to this day
Yeah.
through entertainment, philanthropic endeavors, so many areas. They're still moving Gary forward. You know,
That's it.
nothing has changed when it comes to that. Nothing has changed.
Do you see with Crazy Mama, do you see more collaborations, the two of you together, more shows, more things? Is this kicking that off?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a great one working on.
Don't say it.
Can't say the title.
No, don't say the title.
Presented by Acme Incorporated.
Yeah. We'll come back and tell you about that.
It's fun. It's
For
fun.
tickets, it's 555-1212.
By the way, people, to see Crazy Mama, you can go to the website of the.
It's right on the screen. We got you.
But you also can go to we're on Ticketmaster, bro.
Yes, you are. I saw that. Yes.
And, I took Sharon. I said, first time out, you're on Ticketmaster. It's not like local yokel stuff.
It's incredible. You're on Ticketmaster and Gym Masters.
Ticketmaster, Gym Masters, right under the stones.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
It's right there. Exactly right. And there it is on the screen. You're very proud of this, Sharon, aren't you? This is really an extraordinary story. Your other family, what's their response, their take on the Crazy Mama?
Well, I mean, so far, a lot of my family is past. My mom, my dad, my grandparents. You know how that happens, but I still have my brother. And he is so happy. He's just thrilled because, as I said before, he's an advocate for mental health, and he counsels people who are suicidal, which is a very tough job. And my hat's off to him. He's been doing that for many years. So he's very glad. He's glad I'm doing it because he really thinks it's going to help and help some people heal.
That is beautiful.
All I want. That's all I want out of it.
And a few left.
Yeah. And work with my husband.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
No,
you guys, you're a powerhouse together, and it's surrounded by love. You're both individually talented people, but a powerhouse duo coupled together with the support of a loving foundation, and you can razz each other and have fun with each other and direct each other and all the rest. But it comes back to this full circle situation, and you have found each other.
I want to mention, you asked about family. I forgot to say my daughter, Lindsay, who never really understood her grandmother because she was young, when my mother died. And she came to the reading, the first reading that we had. And I didn't know how she was going to take it. And she came up to me at intermission and just held me and sobbed. And she said, "Mom, now I understand." And I thought, okay, that's all I need.
That's the icing on the cake, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's really, I just think of how many other people have different or similar situations going on in their lives, maybe not exact, but when they see it. And as Anson so eloquently described it right out of the gate when we had you first pop on, the impact people are having, where it's like pin drop during and then intermission or whatever, everybody's cheering, but it's really resonating, and they're not just watching it and passing time, they're feeling it. And it may, give them a different perspective on life and on things that we deal with, like the craziness of the last several years and everything that's been thrown at our lives, and how do we deal with it, and the importance of love and family and sticking together as opposed to pulling apart.
Right.
All of these things that are so essential and important that the earth wants in order to continue to spin smoothly on its axis is have us all together. And this is something very, very powerful. The timing of Crazy Mama, I don't think it's any better time than now with the dialogue and the spotlight on these kinds of issues. It's perfectly timed.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We had a therapist who came to one of the readings said this is the most pressing problem we have right now in our country. There's a mental health, epidemic, crisis, and we're not doing enough to address it. So, I mean, just look at what happened in Kansas City. Look what happens in our schools. We can't even go to the drugstore anymore.
Every single day you turn it on and it's like you think you saw a Twilight Zone today, and then tomorrow tops it. There's a lot of people that are very lost and angry and frustrated and confused and without the direction and the guidance, and they act out. I mean, there used to be a time, remember, when you had your car, you wash your car, you wax your car, and you take it out because you love your car, and it's fun and it's leisurely. Now you take your car and it's like taking your life in your hands. It's not even a pleasure to drive anymore.
Yeah.
You're going to be run off the road or sideswiped or something. And there's a lot of rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we were just at LAX yesterday.
Oh, God.
Oh my God, it was insane, right, babe?
Yeah. People fighting for pickup spaces.
Yeah.
It's like, geez. Yeah.
It was crazy.
I go, where's the kindness? It's gone.
Yeah,
Courtesy.
right?
Courtesy,
Right.
little kindness, Yeah.
That's
They
what
need to watch reruns of Happy Days
Exactly.
and get with the program,
That's true. Well, I mean, we've lived long enough. The changes are incredible. The violence.
Yeah.
And why? Why? Well, I mean, the internet's done a lot of good, a lot of bad. And people are not as well informed. The internet, if you're a little bit crazy, you can find a group of people that agree with you. So you become part of that group. You don't grow. You become that group and feel like being a little powerhouse.
Yeah.
And you have all these groups, and nothing's for the greater good. It's all for their own selfish weaknesses. And you see the cause and effect of this. And these kids shooting and all, that's parenting. That is parenting. It's parenting, and the violence they're seeing combined with their own loss of their needs in their own family. It's a perfect storm for combustion and violence.
Yeah.
And it's so clear. It's just, if you just go, you can just see the change. I remember when I was going to high school, junior high school, the biggest deal. Someone brought a switchblade to school.
Who is the switchblade? Right.
Oh my God! I mean, it was like he had it in his pocket.
Right.
No, he had it and it was like, oh my! It was like, I mean, school shooting. No, what do you?
No.
Every day we go on our bike. You know the drill.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't even in the cards.
No.
Kidnapping. This, that, not even.
None of that. Snowball fights is what it would be.
It was never in the cards. The violence did not exist at all. And just to see the progression of this it's boy, I'll tell you.
It's heartbreaking.
It's a psychiatrist,
Does it scare you guys at all?
Huh?
Does it scare you guys at all to see how rough and violent and unpredictable it's becoming?
Well,
I
sure.
mean, absolutely beyond scared.
Mhm.
So disturbed. It's just, what we're leaving here for our kids. It is, I have no words. Yeah. Very scared. Very scared. I'm very scared on a lot of levels. We're losing the basics of this country. We're losing the foundation of this country. We're losing the respect of what it took to create this country.
And
Nobody's informed about our founding fathers, what they went through, how hip they were, how cool, and what they went through to get what we have now, and how scared they were we'd lose it. One of the last letters with Adams and Jefferson was, Jefferson, do we give them too much freedom? Do we give them too much? Because they can destroy it. And he actually thought that they went through so much blood and so much turmoil to get here, it would never, ever happen. But they knew human nature, and they knew the tools. The tools for the experiment, they call it. Till they died, it was called the experiment. It could go either way. Does true democracy work or not? Is it the best of human nature or is it the worst of human nature? And right now, it's where we are. I'm not political. It's just nuts. There are no words to describe the craziness and this destructive platform that's going on here, man.
Yeah.
It is. It's just, yeah, it's scary. It's scary.
And I don't know. I see a documentary or something on the offing here, in the offing for you with this topic or what you were just saying, and you've even, to try to make the world a better place. Some people not realize there was a moment or two where you ran for even mayor of the town, right? Yeah. To try to do what you can.
Yeah, I did. I did because it's my little town. You want to make it the best. But even that, this was a. Oops. This was a.
You can take me out.
Okay, no. This was a.
Is that how we started?
It was amazing. That was an amazing education.
What did you learn?
Oh gosh. You need another hour.
Do you have another hour?
You add another hour to the show.
Okay. You know Washington, what's going on there? It's a microcosm.
Ojai is a microcosm.
Ojai is a microcosm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Just because what you have to go through to get something done, unnecessary hurdles, are the same here as probably any town, any Congress. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But what we did do, when we found out, we helped a lot by running, and we lost by just like 1% or something. But we opened up the door to a lot of things that are benefiting the community, and more people have taken the torch, and they're trying to correct what needs to be corrected here, and we're very proud of that. And honestly, they've asked us. We probably. I mean, I won't say it. We have a very good chance of winning if we wanted to do it again. And I found out, I just found out that I think I can do more by not running, and really, and be more productive without running. And it gives us the freedom to do what we're really good at. I mean, there's other things that are important, and I think contribute to society even more. And and I've learned that. I said, well, I think we can do what we need to do without getting ingrained in that position and everything that comes with it. I actually think we do less.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You can roll up your sleeves and just get in there and do what you can without all of the bureaucracy blocking and right. Exactly.
It's a nasty business. It's a very nasty business.
It is, right? It is. And
it's
as we see,
yeah.
It's like you can't script any of it. It's
more starting every day.
I told Ron Howard. I said, bro, I can't make up these characters. I can't make up. Whenever I think I've seen everything, I've seen nothing. It's like I mean, talk about. God, talk about a Fernwood tonight, Yeah,
where's Martin Mull when you need him, right?
Exactly.
This was really terrific. And as we say, I guess the theme is good things come to those who wait, and patience is a virtue. And everybody's been commenting and sending you their love, and they can't wait to see. They're getting tickets already, which I think is fantastic. And they're applauding both of you for Crazy Mama, and also, of course, as we celebrate the 50th for Happy Days and your epic career as well, Anson. This is the second time that you've been on our show, and a real blessing. And to bring your lovely wife with you as well. She's a real true talent, and you guys are such a great support system for each other. And I wish you both nothing but continued blessings and joy in your life. You are welcome back anytime. Use that computer, sit in those chairs.
We will. I'm sorry.
And we are good to go.
Okay.
It was fantastic, truly. You guys have made such a difference and continue to make a difference in the lives of so many. And I know it's a blessing to do so. And I thank you for all the great time, the amazing conversation, the laughs, and you're welcome back. As they say, we keep the porch light on for you. And I hope truly you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with the two of you.
That's thoroughly.
We sure did.
Really fun. Yeah. And really, and what I love your interviewing. You can offer a lot more, positive stories and just, there's just, you can get a lot of depth out there to your audience.
That's what I like to do. I think some of the guests have said, sort of bringing back the lost art of conversation, kind of like Dick Cavett and Carson and some of the others, where that sort of style that you don't see a lot of. And that's my style anyway. But you can, people now learn even more about the two of you beyond just what they see on the screen and what they've always admired. There's a deeper appreciation for who Anson and Sharon are. They see the love between the two of you and all these wonderful things that you've done and continue to do. I think it just enhances what they've already thought about you guys. And I think that's a great thing when that happens.
Thanks, Jim. We really appreciate the time.
Yeah.
It's great.
The pleasure is all mine. As my father told me when I was 7 years old with his wonderful Irish New York advice, he said, Jim, or in that case, Jimmy, always remember, whenever anybody says something kind or nice to you, always take the time to thank them. Then ask them to please put those words in writing and address it management. And that still works today, doesn't it?
Yeah. Old school works.
Yeah.
It does. It's the best. It's the best. You guys are the best. And again, truly, this was really a treat. We were all looking forward to it. And I'm glad that you spent so much time with us. And you guys enjoy Crazy Mama. I'll tell them how they can get tickets and all again. And it was an honor. Oh, it was an honor to have you here. Spread the word about our show. If you know the other folks who like to pop on, they're all welcome. And, if you bump into Henry Winkler or others, Marion's been here. Don's been here a couple of times. They're stellar people like you guys are.
Awesome.
And you be well, okay? And you take care. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
All right. You take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Anson Williams and Sharon Scott Williams here on the Jim Masters Show, live entertainment, lifestyle, celebrity talk show series, as we were celebrating the 50th anniversary of Happy Days, this iconic sitcom and television series that, of course, was on ABC in the 70s. What great stories he shared about the guys, about Henry Winkler, Ron Howard, Donnie Most, and the friendship and the camaraderie and the antics and everything else. That was really special. We worked hard, putting this special together, and I'm glad everything all worked out. Again, Carolyn Hennessy was going to be with us too, but General Hospital called her away to do some taping and, extra scenes and lines that she had to do. So we're hoping to have her here on Monday. We'll keep you posted on that. But, it's so nice to know that it was such a loving set, on Happy Days, and that they really appreciated one another. They truly loved one another. And Anson Williams, of course, played Potsie Weber, as I mentioned in the introduction. There is the then now cool story about Julian Lennon too, right? When John Lennon brought Julian, there is more recent, and Anson was so surprised and I think tickled that we were able to show all these great photos. It takes a lot to put these episodes together because we really go beyond. We go beyond the extra mile to give you as great entertainment as we can and information and inspiration. There is the young Julian Lennon with John Lennon. You see him right there on set, which is cool. Also wonderful to know that they still get together. Donnie Most and Anson Williams, Henry Winkler, Marion Ross, and Ron Howard. And if you didn't see those episodes, Don Most has been on our show a couple of times now. He was just on recently as well. So if you didn't see those episodes with Donnie Most, Ralph Malph, who's a brilliant singer as well, was on the Jim Master Show Live. Check those episodes out. And also the iconic Marion Ross from Happy Days, Mrs. C. She was a guest on the Jim Master Show Live series as well. And that was a beautiful episode. She was in, I think it's the Happy Days Ranch at her home. Her son, who's an incredible impressionist, Jim Mescamin, he was with her, and it was really epic. And she said, Jim Masters, I want you to come to the Happy Day Ranch and visit. And I hope one day we do, coming soon. And now I really don't need this. Hope you had a good time with us. This was something special. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Be well. Take care of one another. Love one another. Don't forget to be good to yourself. Thanks for stopping by the Jim Master Show Live series. And cheers.